What's up, everyone? I'm Lamar with the Healthcare Digital Marketing Podcast. I'm excited about this gentleman, Jason Ramsey. Jason and I have known each other for quite some time now, and I'm excited because we have a lot of similarities. We love basketball. I mean, we just left a
Hmm.
hoop session at 6 a.m. in the morning, so we're kind of crazy like that. But he has a family. He loves his family. He's been a creative consultant for 25 plus years. He has his own marketing firm. He runs his own Love Your Brand podcast as well. So he does a lot. So we have a lot of similarities, and I think you and I connected at a level where, I mean, we can just talk business, we can talk personal, we can talk basketball, we can talk in so many different ways to relate to each other. I think we're in the same kind of pathway to growth and help people, and I'm excited about bringing you on today. So Jason, just open up and let the audience know who you are and give some more insights on your experiences and background.
Thank you so much, Lamar. Yeah, this has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Uh, that's for sure. But he's right. We connect on so many levels, and me, naturally, I'm a talker. Uh, it's the Southern nature in me, and that's what kind of led me down the rabbit hole of podcasts. I'm like, well, I'm constantly talking to others
Mhm.
and love hearing their stories, right? Love hearing what really makes them tick and of course that segues over to branding and marketing and personal brand and business strategy,
Right.
right? It's like in my blood. I just enjoy it so much. So we're constantly chatting basketball and the business and new ideas and how do we scale and how do we do it right and what are you using? What am I using? So yeah, we always have great conversations. Thank you for having me. Essentially, I help professionals build brands that people feel, not just follow.
I
I
like
feel
that.
like, I guess, in today's society and the business stratosphere, it's filled with a lot of instant gratification.
Yeah.
Uh, Strategy, that I call it the S word, and people think I'm gonna cuss, but it's just really strategy, right? They want to skip the strategy, they want to skip the realism that there is a long game in play.
Yep.
And performance marketing has been trending really hard. And unfortunately, in our market, it's became really saturated with everybody and their grandmother that can rank you on the first page for
Right.
2.99, right? So, you know, I mean, I was talking to a potential partner in Tennessee. He got 8 proposals, and
Wow.
he was just like, I can't believe it. I was like, I can't believe how low
Mm.
these were, and I can't believe how really high some of these were.
Right.
And then there were a few in between that were a little more made sense. And I mean, that's where we're at, guys. And what I call that is, if you fall into the apples scheme of things, right? If you can't differentiate yourself
Yeah.
with your branding, with the authenticity of your branding, people want to see behind the curtains now. It's not just glitz and glam of running ads and conversions and performance. They want to be a part of the story. They want
Right.
to invest in your brand if they identify with it. And
Right. Right.
you know, and that's where we're at now, especially with AI. I almost feel like,
That's a whole nother conversation, man.
yeah, yeah. And to me, I feel like this what we're doing now, AI cannot replicate.
Yeah.
And AI is good to for business optimization, BPO, but it's still never gonna replicate human nature, human nuances,
Right.
full human writing, right? Storytelling. It's just not there yet. So I think this human to human connection is going to become more valuable.
Oh, yeah.
The creative mindset is going to become more valuable.
Right. Right. I think too, like what you're saying is so valuable, but there's the proof in the pudding, right? Like I've been watching you on LinkedIn, man, and you've been killing it. I mean, like from everything that you do, from a branding, from content to the message, like so many people are engaging with your content. And so it's back to the point of like, you're telling a story and you're making them feel something. And I think it resonates so well with your audience. And but there's a lot of mistakes in branding, right? So like
Mm.
what do you see as the number one mistake in branding? Like just overall, because you've been doing this for so long.
Oh man. I mean, how many mistakes? So once again, I don't think companies or business or brands or personal brands, they take the time to become self-aware
Yeah,
and really establish who they are as an entity and where they want to go. And you know, and understand there's a long-term vision and short wins along the way.
yeah,
So it's foundational. You know, what I like to call it is like a brand therapy blueprint, or in marketing it's blueprint, essentially business strategy. We like to take the time to really dissect every aspect of the brand, right? All the key pillars, voice, feel, look, trust, blah blah blah. We break it down, we find gaps, strengths, weaknesses, um, and give them an actionable plan that they can then take and execute. And they don't even have to use us. I'm like, guys, if you just go through this process, you're going to see how valuable it is to take a step back,
yeah.
reposition, align your brand internally with your culture. Who are you,
Mhm.
right? Because you're going to have to permeate that
Right,
throughout all your marketing, because the same old tricks, the game has changed. It's just not going to work like it used to work.
right.
Uh,
Yeah. And what do you what so to that point, what is how important is storytelling? Like, in terms of brand therapy and resonating with your audience, like how important is that to what you do?
Storytelling is essentially the backbone, um, to me. And storytelling, I mean, it's a big word, right? People are like, oh my gosh, what does that mean? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You've got essentially tell the story, be authentic, make it human, let people know exactly who you are, who you're talking to,
Right.
your whys, right? Um, it's just important all the way around, and a lot of companies skip that altogether. They'll go through and they'll discover their voice, tone, their mood, their palettes, their imagery. Then they'll go right into campaigns, right? How do we make money?
Yeah.
You know, they skip a lot of steps. They don't really take the time to explain their why.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my 2 cents. Just take a little time. Everybody's in a rush, right? I mean, everybody needs everything yesterday, but I promise if you take that time to invest, get coached, get help, learn yourself,
Yeah.
tell your story, because that's going to help generate your content
Absolutely.
to continue telling your story, right? On social media, on your website. You just mentioned LinkedIn. Like, I'm reinventing my story.
Mhm.
I've retold my story in a few different various ways. And after 25 years, I was like, dude, I've got to do something else. I've almost got to reframe my whole mindset. I had a complete mind shift, and I
Wow.
had to recraft my story from where I was at, in the weeds,
Right.
marketing 25 years, pushing campaigns, pushing brands. Now I'm kind of stepping out, doing more coaching, mentoring, writing my first book, doing podcasts. Just me, I'm just really trying to give value and give back as much as possible. I think my philosophy is the more I can give, the
Yeah.
more it's going to help all of us achieve and rise, right? I truly
Yeah.
think there's enough work for everyone.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of companies should be more, and brands should be more synergistic. They
Mm,
should break the mold and not worry about their competitors. Don't look at them as competitors. Look at them at how you could leverage each other's strengths.
right.
You know,
Right.
it's like a mindset shift. It's
Yep. But yeah, to your point, it's like crabs in a barrel because there's so many different marketing agencies, so many different brand firms, and like everyone can eat, but it's almost to the point where like people will sell just to get the client and then don't even take care of them and make it more transactional and skip steps in the process to what the actual pain point is and getting them to the result that they're trying to get to. And so I think to your point, it's like that taking that time, even vetting out, the different, companies you're talking to, but then taking your time once you get in that process, because to your point, if you like we had a client, man, we said, hey, with SEO, it takes, anywhere between 9 to 12 months, depending on the competition, depending on how, like there may be a dentist on every corner, right? Those dentists may have been doing marketing for 10 years. You're a startup. You just started, you just came into the game. So it's going to take a while to really, make an, impact. But with 9 months and they're not ranking on the first page, you're like, you know, well, what, like why like I gotta do something different. And it's like this is a long-term game, right? Like you gotta keep proving to Google why you deserve to be at the top. And part of that is your brand, how your reputation, how you take, like what's the experience that you're giving that patient when they come into your practice, because then that's gonna help your brand as they tell someone else, right? And then that person who they told searches your brand, on Google or on other, marketing channels, and they end up seeing like, hey, great reputation. Their messaging resonates with my pain points. Like this is where I'm gonna go get my teeth taken care of. And so like, but to your point, a lot of people want to skip the process, and it's like you like there's no way around it. Like there's just too much competition out there. But when it comes to like the framework though, like how do you how do you create a framework to help a brand improve? Like, because I'm sure there's been situations, right, Jason, where like you came into an engagement, they've been doing something to their brand for so many years, but you're like, man, there needs to be a framework to really help you improve. Like how do you think about that, and how do you address those issues?
I mean, well, we developed almost like a, from all of our experience, we've taken all the latest data from, AI from search, and as you know, search is AI inclusive now. That's a whole, we can have a whole nother discussion on that,
Yep.
large language models. So it's like we go through like what I like to call a 164 point checklist, and we grade each section. We grade their everything from their brand strength to their visibility, if they've got listings, what's their SEO look like, how are they ranking in AI, how's their website performing. Then we do a deep dive on all their competitor analysis. Then we go through several intake questionnaires, meetings, whatever you want to call it, and really dig deep, peel back the onion,
Mhm.
one layer at a time. And we really try to discover what's missing.
Yeah.
We go through this process and we identify exactly what's missing. Sometimes it's like, there's not a lot missing. There's some spots they really need to hone in on. Sometimes they really need to start from the foundation. They skip those steps for so long
Right.
and they've just been in performance, performance, performance. That's gonna be short term. You're eventually gonna get outpaced and you're gonna get burnt out and you're gonna end up making switches after 9 months.
Right.
It's funny you say that. I always when I tell clients about SEO and we try to educate them, we're like, this year it's more competitive,
Mhm.
especially if you're doing any kind of paid campaigns.
Right.
The competition has increased by 30%. So if you were spending 5,000 last year, you're spending 5,000 this year, you may break even and that will be a win. And their
Yeah.
eyes are like, "What? What do you mean?" Like, yeah, you've got to spend more. I
Right.
think the reality of the cost of doing business, the perception has just went downhill. You know, so many flashy courses. Hey, make a gazillion dollars overnight from your laptop. They put everybody in this mindset, and I don't think a lot of people actually understand the cost of doing good business and doing good work and doing good SEO and doing good R&D and analysis.
Yeah.
It costs money. SEO is like a light bill.
Yeah.
Like once you start, never cut it off.
Right.
I mean, because when you start back, you don't start from where you left off.
Right.
Or you've got competition that double down. They start eating your lunch. Then it's going to
Yep.
take you twice as long to get there,
Yep.
right? People think it's like a light switch. No,
Right.
no, it's not like that. It's important. It's a bill you've got to get with your CFO, you know, the gatekeeper that's like, hey, I'm losing money, I'm making money, and
Yep.
prioritize certain things. That's what we do with the blueprint. We say, prioritize this, you know, have a come to Jesus talk with your CFO.
Yep.
This has got to be in your budget. You know, usually it falls marketing and branding and all this stuff, believe it or not, they fall in discretionary buckets.
Mm.
And but the cost of marketing and doing business has increased, but companies haven't increased with it, but they want the same results.
Yeah.
So, you know, common sense plays a major role in this. And it's a shame, but sometimes it doesn't fly still, right? They're like, hey, we got to try something else because they're on the defense.
Yep.
They weren't proactive for long enough. They didn't have the long game in mind. As long as they had the long game in mind and know that they're investing in marketing, but they're also investing in brand equity. And
Yeah.
that brand equity is going to pay you back year over year over year. It's compounding interest. It's like investing in, you know, great trades in the stock market,
Yep.
401k, whatever, S&P 500. Like that's what you're investing in. And at the end of the day, 10, 15 years later, when it's you want to sell it or whatever you want to do, there's going to be a value tied to that.
Yeah.
That's just it's going to be just as an equivalent to your actual sales
Right.
because
Right.
your
Right.
footprint and your referral and your network is going to be so huge that a company will take that into consideration when they're evaluating your company
Right.
because you've got an audience.
Right. Right.
It's your number one KPI.
Oh yeah, and I think too, like yes, like because I'm on the SEO marketing side too, where when you try to rank for these non-brand terms, right? Like that's vital, right? Because people who are moving into that area, they may not know your brand, so they're gonna search non-branded terms. But as you develop that brand, because there's only a certain conversion level on non-branded terms. But when they start searching your brand and your brand is getting that search volume and you're getting that visibility through your brand, those conversions, it's not even going to be, a comparison because people now are searching for your brand and they want to, use you and use your service. So like the branding aspect is, yeah, to your point, but it takes time to get that brand to show up like that. So like you have to work the non-brand aspect of it. But if you do it for long enough and you build your reputation and you do good work in the community, eventually that brand is going to get that search volume and your conversions are going to be a lot higher. There's no replacement for, your brand. Um, but when I guess when you're if you're launching a campaign, like a brand campaign, right? What questions are being asked? What questions are not being asked that you're seeing?
I mean, once again, it goes back to the soul of the company. Like if they're launching a campaign, I mean, have they launched, you know, have you did the research? Have you looked at historical data? Is is this their first campaign? Do they have brand equity? What's their reach? What's their budget? What's their impression rate? Right? Like how much testing are we going to do? What's our budget? Like then we
Right.
take that and we got to look at other people in the market And sometimes it might not be direct competitors. It could be people that they don't even know about that kind of look and sound like them, may
Yeah.
not even do the same thing, but are competing online. You've got to take them into consideration. And then you've got to run that for a while, continue to optimize it, and then answer those questions, right? Is this a scalable model? Does this make sense? And when you're looking at like your lifetime value, your LTV, right? Your
Yeah.
conversion rate, everybody likes to immediately stack it against, everything that they've thrown in and say, "Oh my gosh, we're breaking even. Woe is me. Woe is me." But they don't consider the brand equity part of it. They don't consider what that's building for next year,
Right.
right? They don't consider repeat business. Don't consider a lot of things. So,
Yeah.
but when you're launching that campaign, it's got to be rooted in your key pillars, right? So, foundationally, it's got to resonate with the audience.
Yeah.
So coming in and just launching a campaign, and that sounds about right, right? Right, Lamar. Hey, we need to launch this campaign and make some money.
Oh yeah.
Great, great. Well, show me where you've done it before.
Yeah.
Right? And usually
Yeah.
they're like,
The fact.
well, here's some iterations that did pretty well. They didn't convert.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're starting from scratch. Well, we got to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like that answer. They and nowadays they're like, hey, we want to pay you on rev, what you bring in. And what? Like, I don't control your service. I don't control your pipeline. I don't control your sales. I don't control your shipping. I don't control anything in your
Yep.
business. And you think that I'm gonna bet everything, my financial future and the ability to pay my people
Yeah.
on this performing well? All I can promise you is that we're gonna do what we do best. We keep
Yep.
up with the latest trends. We're gonna do our due diligence and we're going to launch and monitor and realign if we need to. And
Yeah.
we've been doing well, so let's just keep on that same trajectory. But I've
Yeah.
seen that a lot lately, and some people are biting on it. I'm just like, what? Come on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, and I think too, like I said, I mean, if you go to Jason Ramsey's LinkedIn profile, you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, people are, I mean, I guess they call it today glazing. They're glazing Jason Ramsey. So
And
you got a lot of followers. You got a lot of people commenting, liking your stuff, and it's just different. And so I think, what you're saying is right on point. And I think also to that brand therapy term, I don't know if it's been coined, but definitely should try to coin it. I mean,
dude, I'm trying to coin it. So my son, he was like, Dad, what do you do? And I could have given him a long-winded answer. And I'm like, what do you think I do, son? He's like, well, I see you every day. You just listen, you listening to people. You rarely speak, blah, blah, blah. And it just sounds like you're listening to people. I say, yeah, you're right. I say 80% of the time I'm listening. He was
Hmm.
like, and I'm listening so I can help them with their brand. He was like, so you're like a brand therapist. And I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, why
Uh,
didn't I come up with that? Right. And he
yeah,
came up with that. So I started defining that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take it and run with it. I like it. I didn't see a lot of it. And that's what I do. I listen a lot and try to solve problems and get to know the people, the individual brands that I'm working with. So that's where that kind of got coined. And that's where the brand therapy framework was kind of introduced. And that is essentially where we dive in 30 days. Sometimes it takes a little longer depending on the how busy everyone is.
yep,
And we hone in and we come up with that game plan for their
yeah,
brand, right?
yep,
And what you don't see, you mentioned LinkedIn, that's just one platform. That's the only platform that I essentially am active in. I chose that platform strictly for B2B connections, right? Because that's a majority of the business that I'm in. I
yeah,
don't put a lot of energy in anything else. But even just doing that, you know, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of support,
yep,
right? So and customers that are looking at getting more B2B leads and entering that platform, it doesn't
Right.
happen overnight. That's been 2 years of posting and coming up with ideas and
Yeah.
trying things. And it's all I can say is don't quit,
Mm.
right? It's
Yeah.
podcasting with marketing with SEO. Don't quit. Don't, if you're the last one to quit, then you're in a good position, right? So it doesn't happen. You always see these overnight successes, we always talk about them. We're like, man, they just blew up. But
Yeah.
what you never see is the decade of grind that they put in
Right.
to
Right.
get there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And Jason, this has been powerful, man. Like I truly, appreciate this time. I know you're a busy person, but if someone wanted to engage with you, right, like hey, I need to work on my brand. How do they do that?
Man, I would say the best thing is just find me on LinkedIn.
Okay,
Uh, it's I think it's the Jason Ramsey. Uh,
and we'll include it in the show notes as well.
yeah.
And so, yeah, and we'll include, TalenAlexander, your website, and then your LinkedIn profile. And man, I truly appreciate it. Great friend, a friend of mine. We'll definitely, get this out there. I think it's going to be powerful for a lot of people who are trying to transform their brand. But again, I'm Lamar with the Healthcare Digital Marketing Podcast. This is Jason Ramsey with Talent Alexander. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks. Peace.